Children, in the previous class, okay, the continuation of chapter 8 from your supplementary reader book, The Hack Driver, was going on, and today we will be completing it off. Okay, so let's recall that what happened till the last scene where we reached in this hack driver. Here we came till the scene that both the narrator and Bill, who was the hack driver, they went into the Frid's shop to search Oliver Litkins, and from thereafter they went to the Gustav's shop for searching him. Okay, and when they went to Gustav's barber shop, Bill only went inside and inquired about Litkins, but he was told that just he went to Gray's shop for a shave. Okay, and when they reached to Gray's shop, they were informed that Litkins left from there only 5 minutes before, and he might have gone for the pool room, okay, to play that game, pool game. And they started following him till it was 1 o'clock, and now the narrator was feeling hungry, so the narrator offered to take Bill to a restaurant, but Bill, he wanted to go home to his wife, okay, as his wife would pack a lunch for only $50, he said, and then they would go to the Wad's Hill. They would enjoy seeing the beautiful scenery there while eating, and the narrator, he paid him for complete 6 hours, which included that lunch time also. He charged the whole money to the firm because he don't have to pay that amount from his own pocket, but he would charge that money from the firm. Now, as they sat at the hill, Bill talked of the New Million, that particular town where this narrator came in search of Oliver Litkins. Okay, and he described almost everything from the minister's wife to the boys. And Bill had traveled a lot of the country, and he had done many jobs also. So Bill and the narrator, they just continued their journey to find out Litkins. Okay, and Bill told the narrator that he knew Litkins' mother even, and he describes her. In what way? He says that she was a terror. She is very fearful woman, and once when he went to her, she took his skin off. Means he was beaten badly by Oliver's mother, and further describing Oliver's mother, that she was 9 feet tall and 4 feet thick, and she was quick as a cat. And then they both went to her. Bill told her that who they were. Bill told Litkins' mother why the narrator had come to meet Litkins. Okay, so till there we came to know in this story. Okay, so let's come to that point where we reached, and from where we have to start now. See, all this I explained you about, that they went on the hill and they enjoyed the beautiful grassland and all. Okay, and now after enjoying there, here we reached that telling about that at the last line was that though he might be so well versed in law and everything, but he couldn't hear, okay, he couldn't hear all these abusing words from Oliver's mother. Okay, now from here we will start today. We drove into a poor farmyard. We were faced by an enormous and cheerful old woman. My guide bravely went up to her and said, "Remember me? I am Bill Magnuson, the carter and hackman. I want to find your son, Oliver." "I don't know anything about Oliver, and I don't want to," she shouted. So we here means who? The hack driver Bill and the narrator. They both went to one of the farmyard, okay, and there they saw an enormous means very huge, enormous means big in size, and a cheerful old woman came out there. And my guide here means who was that? Bill. Okay, he was only the narrator's guide, so he went bravely up to Oliver's mother and said that, do you remember me? Okay, so he was introducing himself to Oliver's mother that my name is Bill Magnuson. I am the carter and the hackman, and I want to find your son Oliver. I came here to find your son. So the lady shouted there that I don't know anything about that fellow Oliver, and I don't even want to know that. Okay. Then, now look here. We have had just about enough nonsense. This young man represents the court in the city, and we have a legal right to search all properties for this Oliver Litkins. Bill made me sound very important, and the woman was impressed. She retired into the kitchen, and we followed. She seized an iron from the old fashioned stove and marched on us, shouting, you search all you want to, if you don't mind getting burnt first. She shouted and laughed at our frightened retreat. Let's get out of here. She will murder us, Bill whispered. Outside, he said, did you see her smile? She was laughing at us. Now see what happens, children. So when the lady said that I don't know anything about Oliver and I don't want to know about that fellow, so Bill said further that you see that just we will stop all this nonsense whatever was going on, but you listen that this young man who is along with me, he came from the court side, okay, from the city, and he has the legal right to search all the properties of Oliver Litkins, okay, because he in search of that man. So here, after listening this, Bill made me sound very important. Okay, so the narrator is saying by telling about me, introducing me, he felt really very happy that this person is doing all his work. Okay, and he was simply asked to stand behind him, and the woman was also impressed listening this. So what she did, she retired into the kitchen. She went inside the kitchen, and they both, the fellow also, they followed her. They thought that she might be giving them some clue of Oliver. But what she did, going inside the kitchen, she seized means she just caught. She was holding an iron from that stove. Okay, one old fashioned stove was there. In the old days, the stoves were used in the kitchen, and she brought one iron rod, and she was coming towards them, shouting that you fellow all search whatever you want, okay, but first of all I will burn you with this iron rod, okay, she told to Bill. She shouted and laughed at our Anne when she showed that iron rod. Both these fellows, Bill and the narrator, they got frightened and they were running out of the house. So seeing them, the lady, she was shouting and laughing, okay, seeing them running out of fear. Now then Bill, he whispered means he said in a low voice to the narrator that let's run away, move away from here, otherwise this lady is going to kill both of us, okay, and let's move outside, he said. Did you see? And after reaching outside, he even said to the narrator whether you saw that lady's smile, how she was laughing at us, okay, see how terrible woman she is. Then I agreed that it was pretty disrespectful treatment. We did, however, search the house. Since it was only one story high, Bill went round it, peering in at all the windows. We examined the barn and stable. We were reasonably certain that Lutkins was not there. It was nearly time for me to catch the afternoon train, and Bill drove me to the station. Now, what happened further? Now the narrator also really agreed. He came to know that the lady, she treated them really very badly. Okay, it was the disrespectful treatment from her side, and still they both searched the house anyhow, okay, in search of Oliver Lutkins. And it was only one story high, means only first floor was there, okay, the ground floor and the first floor. So Bill went round it. So Bill was moving inside everywhere as if he was knowing the place very well, and he was peering, means looking at in all the windows. They also looked in the barn means the place for putting the grains, okay, granary, where the grains are stored. So they searched there also, where the barn was there, and even the stable where the horses are kept. So they looked in the stable also in search of Oliver Lutkins. Maybe he might have hidden himself somewhere in that place. So, but they were sure that Lutkins was not there at all. Okay, and now it was the time for this narrator to catch his train, and Bill again drove him to back to the station. So, on the way to the city, I worried very little over my failure to find Lutkins. I was too busy thinking about Bill Magnuson. Really, I considered returning to New Million to practice law. If I had found Bill so deep and richly human, might I not grow to love Fritz and Gustav, a hundred other slow spoken, simple, wise neighbors? I pictured an honest and happy life beyond the strict limits of universities and law firms. I was excited. I had found a treasure. I had discovered a new way of life. So now the man is back to the station. He was dropped to the station by Bill, and while his way back to the city, okay, really the narrator, he was little bit worried that again he failed to find that man who Oliver Lutkins, to whom he came to search to that town. But while he was thinking about his best friend there, Bill Magnuson, okay, that hack driver. So he thought that really what a generous man he was, who helped him a lot out in that journey. And he was just thinking over that he will again return to New Million to practice his law. Means he will leave that city now, and after reporting there he will come back and he will stay here only, okay, to practice his law. And if I had found Bill so deep and richly human, might I not grow to love Fritz? Means he was just going on imagining and thinking that if Bill was so kind hearted and so generous man, then he could find Fritz and Gustav also. They were also very nice person, very simple, slow spoken, and really they were also very helpful. Just he was thinking over all that what he had crossed over there, okay. And he pictured an honest and happy life. Means he found there the people very helpful, and the place also so calm and peaceful place to stay. So he was thinking about to stay there only and continue his life there, okay. He never wanted that strict limits of universities and the law firms where he was working. So he was getting so excited and happy about that. He thought that he found really a treasure, you know, the wealth, okay. And he had discovered a new way of life, the way he wanted to spend his life. He found that. But if I did not think much about Lutkins, the office did. I found them all upset. Next morning the case was coming up in the court, and they had to have Lutkins. I was a shameful, useless fool. That morning my promising legal career almost came to an end before it had begun. Now what happened? So if I did not think about Lutkins, okay, now he was thinking that he should not think much about Lutkins, okay, because when he reached the office, he found everyone there upset, okay. Why? Because he was the witness over there. Who? Oliver Lutkins. Without him, this case wouldn't be solved. Okay. So next morning only in the court that case was going to be solved, and Lutkins was the most important witness there, but he was absent there. Okay. So he thought, who the narrator is thinking that really he was feeling so shameful, and he thought himself as a useless fellow who couldn't find a person there in the town. And that morning he thought that really his career was coming to an end now before it had started, because this was his training period, and he had to complete his job anyhow, but he was failure this time. Okay. The chief almost murdered me. He hinted that I might do well at digging ditches. I was ordered back to New Million, and with me went a man who had worked with Lutkins. I was rather sorry, because it would prevent my loafing all over again with Bill. Okay, so the chief, the main head of that law firm, he almost murdered him, means he was getting means much for him. Okay, bad for him that he couldn't find that person. Okay. So he hinted that I might do well at digging. So he said that instead of, you can't do such a simple work. Okay. And better you would have dug the ditches means the hollow lanes, जो खाई खोदना बोलते हैं. Okay. So he said that you could have gone to the depth of that case to find that person. And again he was ordered, the narrator, to go back to New Mullion, again to that place. And along with him now was sent one man, okay, who had worked with Lutkins, who had already been in touch with Oliver Lutkins. So the narrator was really feeling so sorry, because it would prevent my laughing all over again with Bill. Because now why he was getting so upset, this narrator, because this time he was having one more person from that firm, okay, to accompany him there to find Lutkins. And now it's not possible for him. Loafing means to wander aimlessly, as he did the last time. He was just going on wandering along with that Bill Magnuson, isn't it, in his hack. But this time it's not possible for him to wander all over with Bill. So he was little upset. So when the train arrived at New Million, Bill was on the station platform near his cart. Strangely enough, that old tigress, Lutkins' mother, was there, talking and laughing with Bill, not quarreling at all. So now, the next time when the train reached the New Million, and when he again came back to that place, who the narrator, he found Bill, that same person on the platform, okay, with his hack there, with his cart. And along with him, the old tigress is referred here to whom? Oliver Lutkins' mother. Okay, so she was also there. And she was talking and laughing with Bill, not at all quarreling this time. Last time she brought an iron rod and she chased him out, isn't it? But this time the scene was quite different. The narrator found that they were not at quarreling. From the train steps, I pointed Bill out to my companion and said, "There's a fine fellow, a real man. I spent the day with him." So, from the stairs only coming down, okay, the narrator, he pointed to Bill, okay, and said to that his one of the friend, his colleague who came along with him, and he was talking about that Bill. See that man Bill, he's so good, kind hearted man, a real person, and I had spent the whole day with him, he said to his colleague. He helped you hunt for Oliver Lutkins? Yes, he helped me a lot. He must have. He is Lutkins himself. So, that narrator's colleague who came along with him, he said, whether he only helped you to find Oliver Lutkins last time. So, the narrator agreed that yes, he only helped me to find out Oliver Lutkins. So, the man said, obviously he would do so, because he himself is Oliver Litkins, that Bill Magnuson. What really hurt me was that when I served the summons, Litkins and his mother laughed at me as though I were a bright boy of 7. With loving kindness, they begged me to go with them to a neighbor's house for a cup of coffee. So, now, when he came to know the truth, he was really shocked. And what really offended him, hurt him, was that when he served the summon, that order, when he put forward to this man, Lutkins, so both of them, they again started laughing at him as if they were making fun of this man, okay, the narrator, and as if he was a bright, means as if he was a very small kid, and likewise they were making fun of him, okay. And with lovingly, humbly, they begged the narrator to go along with them to their neighbor's house for a cup of coffee, that let's have one coffee first, then we will see what to do, okay. Then I told them about you, and they are anxious to look at you, said Lutkins joyfully. They are about the only folks in the town that missed seeing you yesterday. So, what he said here, I told them about you and they are anxious to look at you, okay. So, what Oliver Lutkins said very happily, that he already talked to his neighbors about the narrator, okay, that how he befooled him, in what way, okay. And they were really so eager to find out who was that person who was befooled by Bill, okay. And they are only about they are about the only fox in the town that missed seeing you yesterday, means my neighbors were only left out in this whole town to see you yesterday when you came to serve the summon to me. Rest everywhere to everyone I made you meet, and I took you many places, but they were only left my neighbors, okay. And they could also see that who was that man who came to serve me the summons, but though he was going on the whole day with him only, everywhere to find that particular person only. So, hope so, children, you understood. So, at last we came to know that Bill Magnuson, the hack driver himself, was who? Oliver Lutkins. And in what way he befooled the narrator, that was to see here. So, what theme do we get, children? Actually, this story is based on the theme that appearances are often deceptive. Means don't go on the looks of the persons. Okay, so they are deceptive, they may cheat you. The hack driver actually was Oliver Lutkins himself, okay, but the narrator had never met him before, so he couldn't recognize him, and that's why the hack driver, he took advantage of the situation, and he posed himself to be Bill or Magnuson, and he pretended to find Lutkins for him and took him for a ride through the village, okay. Took him to several places for hours, and even he took charged his money also, but the narrator couldn't suspect his identity. Rather, he was impressed with him and wanted to start his practice in New Million, okay. So it was during the second visit of the narrator when he realized how Lutkins had played a prank on him, okay. And the narrator, he realizes that a simple and kind person was a trickster in reality. He had played a good trick over him, okay. So here we come to the end of the lesson. Hope you understood it thoroughly. Once again, I will request you all children to go through the whole videos. Simply don't put your attendance and watch the full videos of all the subjects. Learn properly, prepare all the notes on time, and that only is going to help you during your exams. So till the next class, okay, be safe, study well, and goodbye, children.